Coleton, you were one of the first major pieces in this rebuild they added. What about Kentucky stood out?
Yeah, I mean, it was always a dream to want to play in the SEC for sure. I've seen the coaching staff that we brought in. I've seen the ability to change something around here, and I believed in it. And I like the guys, like the coaches, seen something that I didn't see prior, so I liked it.
Is there a noticeable difference just in the kind of athletes at the SEC versus the Big 12?
I would say so. I would say it's a little bit more faster. It doesn't change anything for me. My IDs stay that same, you know, and my ability to play in the SEC doesn't change the same thing as I did in the Big 12. I would say a lot of good athletes here at Kentucky. I would say that for sure.
When you talk about the speed, you got to combat speed with speed, kind of. So
Yeah.
how difficult is it to get everybody working together so you can play fast on that offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, communication. I believe Coach Cutter, like you said earlier, said that. Communication is a big deal in our offense. I mean, you got to have communication to get the play started, know where guys are going. I think it's a really big thing for our offense. And it's not just me communicating out there, you know. It's like the QB doing certain calls like Oppo. You got like guards, tackles. Everyone's communicating at the same time, making sure we're all on the same page. And so, yeah.
How do you develop that relationship with a quarterback? I'm sure you all kind of have to lean on one another quite
Right.
a bit.
I mean, listen, communicate. I would say like he's a leader. I do my best to be a leader as well on the field. Getting snaps, you know, under center. I'm not sure if that's weird or not, but you know, I would say I'm pretty close with him. Going out to dinner and stuff with him, and so I would think it creates a bond between us, not just only me and him, but between the O-line, you know, because we want to block for that guy. Like I would die for him, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Being the center, and obviously you played a lot of football, but how is it, you know, kind of adjusting to Will Stein's offense and how he wants to play? How are you kind of helping communicate with Stein and Cutter and all them want out there from you and the O-line and the whole offense to play at the pace and level of aggression that they
Right.
want?
So I would say it's like a pro-style offense in NFL, and so that's what I wanted to do to show my game and what I can do for the next level and develop here. But I would say that it's not too hard to comprehend. You know, you got to have a lot of smart guys to understand this type of offense. I would say that things move fast. I would say there's a lot of moving variables throughout this offense. You know, things are going to move and things are going to change, and like, what are you going to do about that? I would say it's went along so well while we've been doing installs. Excited to get going for sure.
What do you like about Coach Leftwich's coaching style, especially as young as he is?
Yeah, really good dude. Real guy. He's gonna say something straight up to you. Doesn't care at all. I love that. Love that realness. He's not afraid to speak up for sure, and I love that about a coach. I love someone has like passion and like wants to get someone better and not just like sit back. You know what I mean? And so I love that about him, and look forward to being coach for sure.
We talked with Olaus. He talked about how he still tells you guys sometimes his ankle's hurt, and he was doing it not that long ago. Does that relatability factor also help in, you know,
Yeah.
coaching?
I mean, all of our coaching staff has played ball in the offensive line room. And so, I mean, having coaches like that has helped a lot, you know. They just try to tag along with us while we're doing stuff. I know his ankle hurts sometimes. He makes it a big deal about that, you know, and getting in the training room and stuff. But it's something that we need in the O-line room. Lift up the vibes a little bit, you know, when things are down, and say good. Things are going to be bad, good, you know. So I think it's a good thing from him. So
There are a lot of coaches, you know. I'm sure that there was probably some support staff people at your previous place, but what's that dynamic like? Because that is a little foreign concept to us here of having. I think you got 4, including a GA in your room with you. Is that right?
you talking about like new coaching staff?
Just in the offensive line room, you know, with Warmack and, you know, there's a whole slew of not just Cutter but other
Right. Oh,
coaches
yeah,
helping
different
you
coaches.
guys
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great deal. While I was at Baylor, we had like 2 coaches. Really, we had an offensive line coach and we had a offensive analyst coach.
Mm-hmm.
Great deal. But like here, it's like you can focus on like more things as well. It's so hard for 2 coaches to see the whole entire offensive line while you're getting a lot of reps. You know what I mean? And so I think it helps a lot of input, a lot of knowledge in there. I think it's really good for our offensive line for sure. just to say what they think, coaches around, and I would think it's doing us well for sure.
What are your impressions of the other linemen in the room that you've gotten to know over the last month or two?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the guys have done really well. Guys coming in, guys that have been here. I mean, we're just getting started, you know what I mean? So the guys in the room are doing really well, and I'm excited to see what can be.
Minchie, when we first talked to him, he said, you know, I don't really have time to worry about who I'm going up against. I'm just trying to get my call right. Do you have to know who's lining up next to you to make sure that they know what's going on, or do you just play the play regardless of who's next to you?
Can you try to reword that question for me?
Yeah, I mean, when you're all rotating players and there's different lines on
Right.
the blue and white team,
Like Swiss Army knives type of guys, you know?
yeah. Do you have to kind of know how that person plays, or is it kind of stagnant where
I would
it doesn't
say
matter who's
I would
there?
say I would say both. You know, you got to know your players. You got to know who you're playing against. Know how he plays. But all the footwork's the same. Everyone should be doing the exact same thing, no matter the player. You got some guys that are stronger than the others. You got some guys that have longer arms, you know, and you got some guys that have faster feet. It all comes to play, but I would say that we all play to the same standard, and it shouldn't be the same. It shouldn't be any different. So
What's it like having to block a big load like chops?
it's good. Gets me good work for sure. Love the guy. Really good athlete for sure. Strong, low. I mean, anything you can ask about for a nose guard. You know, I think it's gives me really good work, and I think we're going to get better from it for sure.
Lamps heard. Everybody good? Everybody still got their balance? Everybody's good? Okay. All right. Questions?
How's it feel to put on the blue?
It feels good, man. Feels good. I love blue.
What was your perception of Kentucky, obviously on the other side of the rivalry the last few years?
I don't know. I just know they have always had really good old linemen. You know, I didn't know that part.
Cutter said that you really bought into the vision. So what was that vision that sold you on Kentucky to make this the place to transfer to?
I mean, with just me and him, that's the fact that he's going to develop me and get me to the next level. He's a great coach, outstanding. You know, and I love Coach Coleton.
Schematically, are there more demands at your position in this scheme than the one you were in previously?
No, it's about the same.
What do you think you do best on the football field?
I do everything good, man. I think, you know, obviously I'm supposed to say that, but I feel like I'm really athletic. I can move good laterally. You know, I can do a lot of different things. I can play receiver too.
We've heard a lot about guys kind of at this stage in practice in the spring, moving around, having to learn a lot of different things. How has that been for you, and how beneficial do you think that can be for the offensive line once the season does come around and those lines are more stationed?
I think it'll be really good because the guys worked a lot of different positions that you can rotate guys and plug guys in wherever you need them. And also just to see who are your guys, you know.
Coach Cutter really harped on communication. How often is he kind of beating that drum?
Every day, every single day.
You said you really like him as a coach. What about his coaching style?
You know, he's just real with me. You know, he's straightforward. You know, he don't treat me or no other player any better than the others. He treat everybody the same. He'll come in your face and get on your butt just like he will with anybody else, and that's what I like.
Anybody in your room surprised you that maybe you didn't know about coming into this?
Not really, man. It's just only two people I really just knew that stood out to me was Coleton, Price, and Ted. You know, obviously Max Anderson. He came with me. You know.
When you all are going up against the defensive line, are there any guys that are, you really got to be on your P's and Q's against? A good challenge.
Yeah, I like. I mean, all of them are great. You know, but I like CJ Works. He's pretty good. Yeah.
Is obviously you all ran a lot of tempo last year. How would you compare just the pace of playing and practicing at Tennessee versus the pace of practice here at Kentucky?
It was different, man. I don't really want to talk about Tennessee. That's like the second Tennessee question. I don't want to talk about Tennessee.
We've heard a lot about this offense from various guys. What about it is appealing to you? What do you like from the early practices that you guys are doing?
I like the scheme. I like everything that that we're doing offensively. You know, I feel like that it's a pro style offense. You know, and it is a lot of demand on the tackles. But I like that also. I don't want to be just generic.
What is it about it that's demand on the tackles?
Just having to pull and, do a lot of different things,
You said when asked your reason why and something that motivates you a lot, you used your mom as an example. Can you just talk about what she means to you and how she
Say that
motivates you?
again, I'm sorry.
On your bio page, it says, your reason why was something that motivates you in football is your mother. Can you just talk about how much she means to you and how she motivates you to continue to be better?
I mean, it's my mom, she means everything to me, She's the one that been there all my life, It's you love your mom too, don't you? You do a lot of things for your mom too, don't you? I mean, everybody wants to make their mom happy. That's universal.
What's just the excitement like? I mean, I know it's only 5 practices in, and it is just spring practice, but what's the energy like during these practices?
Really good, man. We got after it today. A few brawls out there, but it happens,
What does it mean to you? Because you said even when you were at the other school we won't talk about, but you knew about the O-line play here at Kentucky, and now you're a part of that group. So what does it mean to you to kind of be part of this big blue wall going forward?
It means a lot, man. It's high expectations, in this place for O-linemen, man, and high standards. And you got to live up to them, and I'm ready to take on that challenge.
Olaus, people don't typically think of Finland when they think of football, but obviously there is a rich footballing culture there. Your dad also played in NFL Europe and for the Falcons for a while. Can you talk about just like what it was like growing up over there and how football shaped you?
Yeah, football in Finland is a really small community. It's a niche sport over there, but I say the people who played are very much interested in football. They love football. They stay up in the middle of the night to watch NFL games and stuff like that with the time difference. I played ice hockey too before I started playing football, and was in basketball and stuff like that. So I think, but once my dad started coaching the local youth team, then I fell in love with football ever since then when I got a chance to put the pads on in middle school.
What team were you staying up late watching?
Me and my dad, we used to watch the Falcons a good bit since he was in the practice squad there, and then also Cleveland Browns when they had a good run with Nick Chubb, and we really liked their O-line with Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller, and those guys are really good.
So when we talk about you, what positions should we say you play?
Right now, I've been most of the rep in tackle, but also a little bit of guard in the mix as well. So I guess either of those is fine.
Have you played just a little bit of everything on the offensive line throughout your career?
I have in the past, yeah, everything except the center. Yeah.
What was it like when you did first, like just the differences in the level of competition when you got stateside and played in the prep circuit and then jump up to Alabama?
Yeah, I think the speed of the game is different, and I think there's a difference in people doing it for a hobby or interest, and when people actually do it to try to make a living, and that's when you see guys' strain and effort is so much higher over here, which makes the game just that much more physical.
What were you looking for out of the portal when you were making a decision to go somewhere else?
Yeah, I just wanted to go somewhere that's right for me. I wanted to be a part of a good culture, a good group of guys, and have people around me who can help me get forward as a player and help me improve every day.
Cutter talked a lot about communication. How important is that when you guys are rotating so often?
Oh yeah, I think it's very, very critical that we are on the same page. And when you play next to a lot of different guys, you don't get a chance to get used to what they do and how they might communicate things. So I think you have to be extra clear and really emphasize that you are on the same page with the guy you're next to.
As
You
we
go
look at it,
from a small football community in Finland to here where everyone talks about the big blue wall and the fans know who you guys are. Just what does it mean to kind of, be the next kind of guys to represent that legacy of O-line play?
I think it's a really awesome opportunity to be part of the Big Blue Wall. I think we have a great group of guys to bring back some of that tradition that's been here in the past, and that was definitely like one of the factors that brought me also here to be somewhere where there is a rich tradition of offensive line play.
Cutter also mentioned some former O-line guys coming in to talk and work out with you all. Was there one player that gave you like a really good piece of advice that's stuck with you or anything like that?
Yeah, I think I had a good opportunity to talk to a couple of the guys who are here for the pro day, and just being around them and seeing how they prepare for the draft process and like what they have done to get to the point they are in has been really helpful. And they've been here training a lot, so we interact with them a bunch. So that's been really cool.
Some of
with
the
Cutter, he also talked about moving guys around, the fluidity of the depth chart now, especially in the spring. Do you feel like you kind of had a leg up there where you've played all across the offensive line before?
Yeah, I think it certainly helps that I'm comfortable in multiple positions, but it's still a challenge to everyone to switch in the middle of practice or prepare. And especially like knowing the system, you have to really know all the concepts and what everybody does at every position, because you never know when you get thrown in on the other side of the ball, and you got to be ready for your opportunity.
Speaking of challenges, I know some of the guys said there's just no breaks in practice, right? It's one thing to the next thing to the next thing. How challenging is that for you guys on the offensive line to stay moving?
I think it's something I've done in the past as well, but for bigger guys, it is a little challenging. But I think it's good for us. It helps us to get in good shape and be ready for fourth quarter games, because it's a fourth quarter league and games go down to the wire. So it is about who can execute when they're tired, and when they're running out of gas, you got to still be able to do your assignment and play physical.
How would you describe Coach Leftwich's coaches?
I think he's really hands-on kind of guy. I know he has to sometimes even restrict himself to running up there to coach, which I like. He runs very organized meetings. He's detailed about our assignments and our plays, but there's also a lot of humor in the room, and we enjoy being around each other in that group, which is awesome. Like to see how everybody in the O-line room's excited to be here and building that kind of chemistry between the coaches as well.
You like the fact he's not really that much older than you guys? It's only a few years since he was playing. So.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, he can definitely relate to us a lot. He's been in our shoes. Sometimes he jokes about his 25 starts, and then that his ankle's still bothering him a little bit. So I think it's great that he still remembers what it is like to be out there in the field.
There's some guys that you go up against on the other side of the line that are a little tricky to handle, a little tough to handle, make it for good competition on that defensive line.
Yeah, I think the defensive line is a really good unit on our team. I know Keys every day. He brings a lot of effort in his play. He times up the cadence really well, so you got to be ready to get off the ball and pass protection. I know J-Dob is a really strong guy on the interior. He'll get good extension and come off the ball physical, so if you're not ready, you'll definitely get exposed.
Cutter mentioned, he wants, 5 guys to play as one to be a good unit. How have you guys been working on, all being on the same page and really becoming that kind of one unit out there?
Yeah, I think that starts off the field as well. You got to know the guys you're around. You want to know their story. You want to know where they grew up, what do they like to do, what gets them going, so you can encourage each other and push each other forward when things get tough, but also just practicing hard and being on the same page. And then it comes down to the communication. Like if you're going to jump set a guy, you want to make sure the guy next to you knows, so you can be on the same level and stuff like that.
All right. Thanks so much, Olaus.
Thank you.
Thank you.